First question is from Shantanu K. Desai. What training frequency should be applied towards stomach vacuums? Can they be done daily, or should there be a few rest days in between?
Oh, good old fashioned bodybuilder exercise. So
daily,
first of all, the vacuum is a great way to train the TVA, the transverse abdominis. It's the muscle that sucks in the waist. It's actually one of the few exercises that'll actually shrink your waist if you get those muscles tighter and stronger. And it's like the body's weight belt. So it's an important muscle to train, especially for postpartum women after having a baby. But it's important for everybody. Because it's minimal resistance, because it's not a heavily loaded exercise, you have to create the tension yourself when you do it. It doesn't create a lot of damage, and you can practice them every single day. And what'll happen over time is you'll get stronger and better at doing them. Yeah. So when you first start them, you may feel a disconnect. It may feel kind of weird. But over time, you'll get stronger and stronger and be able to generate more force with them. But this is one of those few exercises. Go ahead and practice them on a daily basis. That's always how I recommend it.
Well, wouldn't you say, like, training the TVA, that's you're really looking for the ability for you to be able to draw that in almost subconsciously, right? We're not trying to build or bulk or like add.
I don't think you could with the vacuum,
right? That's what I'm saying is like, so this is what the more you do that, the more it becomes like a regular habit for you that when you walk around, when you bend over, doing
like a natural weight belt.
Yeah, you're naturally kind of drawn in and comfortable like that. I actually think that when I was training for the shows and stuff, like I obviously because of my stage posing and stuff, I was practicing kind of doing that all the time. I never felt so good, like as far as like my low back support and then my posture. I could tell I was carrying my posture, walking around just more upright than I did because of how much practice I was putting into that drawn maneuver. That's the most I ever. I never have cared enough to actually apply that consistently, but when I had to, because I was practicing posing so much, I got to a place where I could tell that I was naturally, and I can already tell since I haven't trained it like that frequently again, I have to be more actively thinking about I'm slouching or I'm not drawing in, where I kind of have felt that I was like holding myself that way all the time when I was practicing.
At what point did it fall out of favor in like the bodybuilding community? Because that's really where it
it did, and then it's making its way back, right? So ever since the reintroduction of classic physique, that category, which is only like
because the vacuum pose, it's an old school bodybuilding pose. You see Frank Zane
where you
doing
get to see the ribs and everything, and it's
it's almost like an ab pose with the hands behind the head. But rather than flexing the abs, they would draw in with the TVA and create this like super small waist look.
Frank Zane the one who's most famous for doing it?
Yeah, but they all did it.
They all did, but he's like most famous for that, right? Yeah, he had that one behind the head.
But now you just see the turtle shell ab, where it's
so I think that's why it kind of fell out of favor, right? They stopped doing it because everybody had pretty shitty midsections, and now that new category is open. And I think, what do you think? Classic's been around 4 or 5 years?
I think so.
It's only been about 4 or 5 years.
It's already bringing in more money than traditional. Do you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's a more,
realistic.
I say, with quotations, because they're still
more desirable physique.
Yeah, they're not like so freaky looking, and it's kind of harkens back to the old days of bodybuilding. Yeah. But yeah, it was a pose, and so people practice it, and you can get better at it, where you really draw in and tighten that muscle. It's extremely valuable for postpartum women. Extremely valuable because that muscle atrophies in order to make room for baby. And I remember I'd get clients postpartum, and I'd say, okay, we're going to try and strengthen your TVA. And I'd have them, you want to be on your hands and knees if you want a little bit of resistance from gravity. I would place my finger on their belly button, and I'd say, now draw it in. And they would always be shocked that they couldn't because they lost total connection to that muscle. Yeah. And then through practice, they were able to do it, and it totally works. And what you'll find is if this muscle lacks, I guess, strength and stability, as you do vacuums, you'll lose like a half an inch, maybe an inch around your waist without getting any leaner. It'll make your waist smaller just because this muscle's doing more of its job.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, you can find the full episode here